Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 12. This is my love song. It goes like this. Back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark. This is how we used to make the party start. We used to mix in. Stop streaming, so apparently I'm on the stream. So we do this. To see what I can see, if I can see me, let's go here. Yep, boom, baby. Let's edit this a bit while we are waiting to see who else is here. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat update. But for some apparent reason, monkey lines are... I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't know why that song is stuck in my head. I haven't heard that song all day. I don't know why. Don't know. Don't know why I would be there. And yet there it is. Oh, let's change some tags here. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Oh wow, pretty much all these tags to be changed. Alright, let's go theater. Let's go theater. Let's go Joseph. Go, go, go. Joseph. Dreamcoat. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Theater. Geek. Hamilton, just trying to siphon some people in. 2 drink minimum, because that's me. Surreal 469, because that's me. Geek, nerd, Gad, Egypt, Canaan days, Megamix, community, theater, and string. Perfect. Yep. Playlists. Life as a bit. Where's other funness? Bum 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 bum. Go 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 Joseph, Jacob and Sons. Boom. Jacob and Sons. Jacob and Sons. Let's do a little bit of promoting right here. Cream and crimson and silver and rose. Asher and green. I actually want to actually watch it though. Pink and orange and blue. Okay, bet. Okay, so that's not true. Move that over. All right, so now that we are officially set up, party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. It's me. This is going to be a super quick stream because I have to prepare for rehearsals tonight. Luckily, it's going to be. I say it's going to. I'm thinking in my head it's going to be relatively simple rehearsals, and if me thinking that out loud means that it probably won't be, it should be. Ideally, we're going over the Mega Mix today, and ideally that should be fun. I don't think we're gonna do. We're probably gonna do more blocking than any like actual dancing, but we're probably still gonna do some dancing. From what I understand, that's gonna be the main focus of tonight is getting the Mega Mix down. Um, but before we do all that, I just wanted to. Well, first off, before we do anything else, I wanted to direct you down there into the links in the description to help keep the lights on at the party, to help keep everything, the drinks flowing at the party, because I need your help. I need your help in doing that. Right now, my YouTube channel is not monetized. It is not monetizable just yet. We need more people here at the party. But until then, I need you to hit the subscribe star, the PayPal, and the Patreon links to help that along. All right, now, I wanted to, wow, that, oof. Oof. I am a heavy-handed bartender. So, I wanted to get down my thoughts so far. Now that I'm knee-deep in, more than knee-deep, neck-deep in rehearsals here for the community theater production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat that I'm in. The first time back on any stage, really, in a performance situation for theater, production, stuff like that, in 16 years. So, yeah, about 16 years. So, yeah, because it was still, I still was in something my senior year, but we just didn't do an end of the year play. So, the last time I came and I talked to you about it, I was extraordinarily nervous about pretty much everything. Came back in pretty much flat-footed. When I auditioned, my voice was an utter wreck. I was super worried about the dancing and just the entire process, but open to experiencing it. I was open to coming back and doing it again and getting into it and seeing how far I could actually go. Well, fast forward, it's been when was that? That was May, April. That was April. Yeah, no, that was May. The auditions were in May because I remember. Yeah, so 2.5 months now into it, and things have gone along. I know where I am in this process now. I remember where I was every other time I did a play. Every other time I had to figure out lines and positioning and blocking and all that stuff. I remember now where I was then. Um, and it's an interesting place, and it's probably exactly where I want to be, which is way further than I actually thought I would be in this entire process. As far my biggest thing, if you go back and you watch the video, which is somewhere on the channel, one of my biggest things was the dancing. That was my biggest fear. I've actually feel like I've got most of the dance moves down. Now, I'm at a point now where I'm actually fine-tuning where I am, what my position is going to be on the stage, and all other stuff. I was right in the assumption that my wrestling experience would help in that. That's still super strong. Would help in that aspect of knowing where I am at all times and knowing where everybody else is around me at all times and knowing how to and when to get exactly where I need to be at the exact right time. That's good. Moving my body in the positions it needs to be, that's gotten along a lot further than I thought it would. There's still little things, though. I'm still, and I feel like this is where I usually am in the process at this point. At this point in the process, I usually don't know everything. I think my brain, most of the time, 99% of the time, my brain won't allow me to do a rehearsal perfectly. My brain won't allow me to not miss a line, or mostly just a line, because usually the blocking goes along with the lines pretty well in my head, and so I usually forget where I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but what I'm supposed to say. So so far here in terms of doing this, which is a just all out, flat out musical, my brain won't allow me to be in the positioning is relatively okay. Um, at least for me, we do have it's an ensemble, and every time I'm on stage with at least 10 other at least 10 other people. So the positioning of all of us plays a part in that. Where I am on the position, where I am on the stage, my positioning on the stage, my blocking on the stage is okay. In terms of me being where I'm supposed to be, it's okay. It's not flawless. It does the job, though. Um, yeah, no, it's not. It's certainly not flawless, but the blocking of where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Moving my body in the dance positions is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I've got a lot of the moves down. I went ahead and I studied. Luckily, we had some videos. I did some video. A lot of it was done by other people as well, and we have a place where we can check all that stuff out. And then the rehearsing does help a lot with that. Now, this is a community theater, so we're doing this 3 hours a night for 5 days a week until we get closer to the actual open day, the actual premiere, and not doing it 8 hours a day, like a professional house would be able to. But from what I'm looking at everybody else doing, we're doing a lot. We're doing very well for that truncated amount of time that we have with the material that we have it. And I feel like there's probably a lot other people that are doing the same thing I'm doing, in which they're kind of going over the stuff when they get a chance to. But in terms of me being able to move and me being able to be light on my feet, when I need to be, I can be. And I'm starting to tap back into that wrestling brain of mine, where when I need to get up for that Bret Hart dropkick, I can get up for that Bret Hart dropkick. When I need to get up for that Yahoo heel click in one of the numbers, I can get up for that Yahoo heel click in one of the numbers. And that spacing, that timing that's getting me there is becoming a lot more accurate, a lot more pinpoint in when I'm doing it. I'm starting to piece stuff together. A week or two ago, I knew where I was having difficulty putting stuff together. Like there was that same dance number. There was one transition from a spin into a leg movement that with the kick that I couldn't. For the life of me, I got every other part of it. For the life of me, I couldn't, after that spin, figure out where my feet were supposed to be to go into the next spot, and I would just kind of skip into the next spot. Now I'm able to put that piece of the puzzle in, and the last couple of nights I was able to put that piece of the puzzle together and actually get it where I was supposed to be, which I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself in some of the things that I've accomplished so far in this journey, in this process, particularly with the dance. Particularly with the dance, because I was frightened to death of that, and now I'm not so much anymore. I still am, because I'm not a dancer. Okay? I'm not a dancer. I'm forcing myself to dance. The only time I dance is when I've had way more than these in me. Just as strong, though. Jeez. Mercy. But a lot more of those in me will get me to dance. But I'm putting the pieces together as far as the dance is concerned, with the blocking and everything. I'm now in that space where I'm fine tuning. There's a couple things. I think back to I think back to Titus, the TV show based on the life of Christopher Titus. On one of the DVDs, he's talking about Zach Ward, who plays his brother Dave on the show, and he talks about how when he first got there, Zach Ward almost lost his job because it didn't seem like he was getting where he needed to get to in the process. They were going over the lines and stuff, but it didn't seem like he was putting it together in the timely at all, really. But I think to the director, it didn't seem like he was going where they needed him to go. And Titus was smart enough to say to his producers, to the network, no, I know what he's doing. Like, I know exactly what he's doing. And on show night, he's gonna kill everybody here. He's gonna slaughter it on the stage. He's gonna be a beast out there, because I know exactly what he was doing. And what he was doing was he was getting the fundamentals down and then putting the finesse on top of it. And there's another guy in the cast too who is really on that same wavelength as I am, to a degree, on how we're tackling this and how he tackled it. Pretty much the exact same thing. You can see him in his head trying to remember where the steps are supposed to be in 1 and 2 and 3. Right? And you can see that expression on his face of, this is where I'm going to be right now. I got to be here, and I got to be here, and it's this, and then this, right? You can see that in his head. And that was me for the longest time, until maybe last week after the break. And then, but now where I am is I figured out the fundamental base of what I'm doing. Now I'm adding my flavor. Now I'm adding Surreal 469 in there. So that's going to be cool for me in terms of the dance. In terms of the music, in terms of the singing portion of it, I'm pretty confident in at least where I'm supposed to be in terms of the lines. I'm super confident in the lyrics, most of them, because I've been listening to it forever and a day. I still got to get those colors down. Red, yellow, green, brown, purple, white, ochre, peach, ruby, olive, violet, fawn, chocolate, mauve, and that's where I get lost. I'm being honest. That's where I get lost. I still got some time left, but I gotta get those colors down, because I'm gonna be mic'd. And I've been in practice. I don't want to be up there saying red and green and yada and yada. I don't want to yada yada the Dreamcoat colors. Listen, I will, but I don't want to. In terms of where my voice needs to be, for the most part, I'm fine with, and I know where my voice is supposed to be, and musical director is fine with, from what I can see, and knows where my voice is supposed to be. There's still some fine-tuning stuff. I've gotten a lot further in that than I was initially, because I said that one of my initial fears was, because I listened to the cast recording for so long, and different cast recordings for so long, and been singing along with it in my car. I've been singing along with it as if, I'm just singing along with it in my car, or around the house, or, singing the song to get it out of my head, or whatever. I'm not actually singing a specific portion that's in the song, right? So think of it this way. Any of these songs, especially with this huge ensemble cast, is like a giant hoagie, right? In order for the hoagie to work, that tomato has got to be in the right positioning. That tomato has got to be there. It's probably not going to be right up against the bread because you don't want the bread to get soggy. And, it's just bad positioning. The lettuce is a better stabilizer for right on the bread. And maybe it's going to be on the meat because maybe the juice seasons the meat. But probably not. Usually when there's a hoagie in there, it's somewhere close to the bacon if you got bacon in there, right? I got to make sure that me, as the tomato, hey Cole, what a tomato! I gotta make sure that me, as the tomato, am right where I need to be in that sandwich in order for the sandwich as a whole to work. I can't go off and try to be the bacon. Although, I could be a halfway decent comparison to bacon. I am pretty salty. Great in the morning. Over some breakfast. Family stream. Anyway, I got to make sure I am where I'm supposed to be. And that's difficult in some portions because I have avoided every recording of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat since I got cast in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I did not want to be tainted by any other performance. But I've been listening to it for 20 years, and there's some tainting that it just naturally occurred. So I need to make sure that I am in my zone, that I am in my lane, and don't cross over into any other person's lane. What makes that harder is that there's a portion in the show where I have to harmonize with two of my other brothers. A bass, a tenor, and I'm singing the baritone part. Now, my voice fluctuates depending on my mood, what song I'm listening to, whatever. I can go into the tenor range. I can go baritone. I maybe even dip into bass range a little bit. I'm having difficulty in that part staying away from the tenor's range, staying out of his zone. Bass is here, tenor's here, I'm supposed to be right here. I have a hard time not floating up in here. Especially because when we sing it, we're right next to each other. I got no problem zoning out my bass brother. I have the damnedest time zoning out my tenor brother. And I refuse to give up this spot. I cannot lose this spot. I cannot lose this, not solo, but this feature. And I refuse to do it. And the best way for me to not lose that, and I don't think it's one of those things where it's like it's probably not going to happen, but hell, if I can't hit the notes I'm supposed to hit and the manner I'm supposed to hit them, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they cast one of the other tenors to do it? So that's one of the difficult parts. I got to make sure I'm in that range when I'm supposed to be in that range and stay in that range. I have to zone him out entirely. I have to hit my part of the song entirely. And it is insanely difficult to do that. Hold on a second. Let me just send something to somebody real quick. But yeah, it's extremely difficult to do that for that particular portion. But I think everything else that I'm doing is fine. I think everything else in terms of... So the notes I typically get are in the same places. That's kind of how I work in a lot of aspects. It's in the same places a lot of the times. Now, I get the same notes. So what I need to do, so I do work on those portions. I don't ignore those notes. It's just habits. It's trying to break those habits and trying to break those habits in a timely manner, because guess what? We open in a week from tomorrow. A week from tomorrow. So, remember back when I got this part and I said, this is probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life because, I've been on stage and X, Y, and Z and yada, yada, yada. Well, now I'm here. Now I'm on the precipice. We are doing Tech Week. You understand? This is the last practice in our practice facility. We were doing Tech Week. And then once the performance opens, there are no more rehearsals. We may do a pickup rehearsal or two, maybe. But that's it. Once the clock strikes at the end of the 19th, next Friday, that's the last one. That's really the last rehearsal. Before we're in front of people, that's the last rehearsal. Before I step my happy ass onto a stage for the first time since the spring, not even the summer, the spring of 2003. When I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 18-year-old senior in high school. I get nervous thinking about it a lot. Well, not a lot, but often. Actually, I'm so busy working that it's hard for me to actually take time to get nervous about it, but sometimes it creeps into my thoughts. I have to try to make sure it doesn't because I'll get distracted from driving, and if I crash because I've been thinking about my portion in those Canaan days, how do I explain that to Geico? So, but I am 8 days away from stepping back. And again, I've performed before. I've been in wrestling rings since then. I've conducted the party since then. This is a lot different because I'm in my own environment. I can start it, stop it whenever I want to. I can edit it. I can do all that stuff. Wrestling, a lot different. I knew I wanted to do that and was doing it consistently for a while. Had a natural inclination towards. I have a natural inclination towards acting, towards being on a stage of some kind, not towards dancing. Semi towards singing, but not towards dancing, and not even really towards singing. I never thought I had anything close to a passable voice until after puberty. Well, really, if you know my inner thoughts, I'm still going through puberty, but I've not since after I started picking up this. Isn't it funny how these drinks get a lot smoother the more you drink them? After I started drinking, after I turned a certain age, after I matured a little bit, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I can hum a little bit or whatever. And actually, I remember a couple people saying, oh, you got a good voice. I was like, yeah, whatever. But actually, okay, I have a halfway decent voice. I'm okay with saying I have a halfway decent voice. Now I got to project that and not undermine whoever the soloist is, not step on anybody's toes, not step on anybody's notes. I have to stay in a specific lane, right? Karaoke is completely different because you don't necessarily have to do that. And if you step on somebody's toes or in a different lane, everybody's drunk and having a good time anyway, and the person that you're up there with is your friend, and that's the joke, right? Ain't no joking around unless the jokes are in the play. And you got to be serious about those jokes in the play, too. You got to hit those notes, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be there. And you have to be in the position that you're supposed to be at the time you're supposed to be in, both physically and vocally. And I got 8 days to get a couple of last-minute things together. First off, I need to get dance shoes. I need to get no-show socks or no socks at all. Actually, I might be able to borrow some or find out where Trapzilla bought his. I got to remember where he bought his because he's got this weird thing about not being able to see socks. So, but if anybody knows, it would be him. I gotta get those. I gotta get underwear. If you know, you know. If you don't, if you don't, and you're a female, go ahead and slide in them DMs. But and I gotta get myself in a headspace where, actually, no, I don't. I feel like I'm right in the headspace I need to be in order for my performance on the stage to shine through. My best performances are the ones I'm nervous about before I get up there. And if I'm not nervous, because I've done this before where I had everything pre-performance down and the performance didn't work because I didn't have that extra level of adrenaline that I needed from having all these things in my head and then having to suddenly put them out of my head, but the adrenaline for them is still there. It's kind of this weird sort of vacuum that creates, that generates more adrenaline, but the right kind of adrenaline, not jittery adrenaline, just good energy to go on that stage. I don't want my rehearsals for the next 8 days to be perfect. And naturally, they haven't been. Last night I got close. Last night I got almost all the way through, hitting every single line, and then there was a couple things that happened. One of my brothers was behind me, and I heard him singing my part, and I forgot that was my part, and then skipped at least the beginning portion of that line, and then from there I missed exactly the spacing I was supposed to be on to hit the dance cue next. It was a whole thing. Actually, no, it wasn't a whole thing, but it was a thing. It was a little bit of a thing. It was a tiny bit of a thing. But I kind of missed those butterflies, and I know they're going to get a lot worse on opening night. And they'll probably still be there every single night because we're doing this a lot. We're doing this a lot, folks. July 20th is the start, and we're doing it twice a weekend, I think. One thing I've taken to doing is I've taken to avoiding eye contact from the choreographer. I've just completely not looked her in the eye for a long time now. Now, there was a poor part where I had to watch her to dance, but I did not. I watched her feet. I did not look up here. If she had turned around and said, "My eyes are up here, buddy," I'd said, "Nope, they're down there. They're on your feet." Because I did not want to look her in the eye, because I'm sure her thoughts is like, "Oh my gosh, who cast this heffalump in my play and put him in my chorus line?" But here I am, making progress, and I'm actually proud of myself for doing it. I'm super nervous for myself. I'm super nervous for the rest of the cast. Now, a lot of the rest of the cast is super amazing. Part of that is a lot of the rest of the cast grew up in theater. There's stage moms that are in the play and sending their little ones to rehearsals for the play. None of them seem like the stereotypical stage mom, but you can tell. It's like, these are the kids that, are in chorus in their school and did all these theater camps and dance classes and all this other stuff. That's why when we started doing the choreography, and the choreographer was like, and then ball change it, got it? I was like, no. I was like, nah, bro, nah, I don't got it. So a lot of the cast, they can just hear it and do it, and they see it and do it. Some of us are like me and they can't, or it's a little awkward, or it's not professional because it's not a professional outing. The rest are, and some of us that aren't that are in more prominent roles, more prominent positions, and it's very interesting to see their development. And again, they knew some stuff. They already knew some other stuff. So like maybe they didn't necessarily know the dance portion of it, but they got the song portion. They knew exactly where they were supposed to be on the lines. They knew exactly what the notes meant on the songbook. And I'm just sitting there learning it by ear. But I'm getting it to the point where I feel like I'm pretty close to where I need to be, and we're pretty close to where we need to be, and we're 8 days away. I keep 8 days away. Just keeps ringing in my head like, oh my gosh, I can't. We're a week away. We're a week away. I don't know if my old heart can take it. I don't know if that black portion of my chest where my heart's supposed to be can take it. And then something else strange happened. There's another play that's casting right now. And the director came over to the stage or to the rehearsal space and was like, hey, we're doing these, this other play, Peter the Starcatcher, and, you want to come in and audition, we're doing auditions now, it's going to run this, that, the time frame, yada, yada. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, no, gonna skip it, because I wanted to see what I can do with this first, see what my schedule allowed for me to do this first, to get my feet wet a little bit, to see before I did anything else, and seeing how they kind of stagger the rehearsals and stuff, because they also did that. There's another play or two. I think one was a kid's play and one was another play. I think they did Mary Poppins or something like that. And somebody in there is one of our narrators for this one, and everything's kind of staggered. So it's like, that's a lot. That's a lot if you have other commitments. And I have other commitments. I'm trying to get this off the ground. I got to make money because I don't have, benefactors yet. If Oprah watches this, though, and, I'll go ahead and read all your books, baby. Yeah, absolutely. But for those of us with different commitments, that's a hard thing to pull off. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't feel like I can do that yet. Well, so I just was like, oh, just heard it and didn't think anything of it. I'm guessing the director stayed around for some of the rehearsal or something like that, because time passes. He comes in the other day, directly walks over to me with the director of this play, introduces himself, and is like, I want you for this part. I'm like, oh. That's very flattering. So now I'm in a position where I need to text him back too. I'm going to probably go in to read for this part. I looked over a bit of the play, and it's like, it doesn't exactly light me on fire, the portion that I saw, but there's more to it, obviously, and it's not bad. It's just not. It just ain't. You know what I mean? It like I don't want to badmouth the play. It's just I'm just like, okay, we'll see. I'm like, we'll see. It's like there's the portion that I saw on YouTube. There's the scheduling thing. There's my nerves about even doing this. All that comes together, but I'm still probably going to go in to read just to kind of see what happens. Sup, dude? So yeah, I'm going in to read for another play while I'm getting ready to go on stage in 8 days to perform in another play for the first time in 16 years. I'm nervous as all hell, but confident at the same time, which is ideally a weird combination, but I've been there before. I love Little Shop of Horrors. Me too. I would jump at the chance to perform Little Shop of Horrors. I was actually thinking of, after this was over, looking around and seeing if there were any productions of Little Shop that were about to start in the Southern California area, to maybe audition, to see what I could get for that. since I'm on seemingly on this role of getting parts in my favorite plays, I was like, see if there's a Little Shop anywhere. Like I would love to play Seymour, probably, or with a bunch of makeup playing not even with a bunch of makeup, maybe even dipping into the Audrey part. But the Audrey part is a lot of lung power that I don't know that I have, but it's mostly off stage. I'm thinking too much about it. Yes, I love Little Shop of Horrors too. I would love to be in a production of Little Shop of Horrors. Why isn't R2 Ninja Turtle popular? I don't know. I don't know yet. Her or Amanda Moranis. I don't know. It might be a consistency thing. I don't think R2 Ninja Turtle posts as much as she used to. I know she recently posted a bunch of stuff, like her trip to Japan and stuff like that. But I mean, oh, you know what? She may be more popular on like Twitch. So I know that she streams video games. So her audience may be over on Twitch as opposed to on YouTube. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking about it, why don't I just look it up? Let's see. R2. Boom. Twitch. Oh no. Yeah, she's still a small channel over on Twitch too. I don't know. I mean, she's engaging. She's funny. She's got a good. Why is it echo? I may be talking too loud. Let's see this. Let's bring this down a bit. Is that better? Let me know if that works a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know why R2 Ninja Turtle isn't more popular. Maybe it's probably the volume. Maybe she just a certain portion of this is networking too. Maybe she needs to do that. But I don't know. I'm not super consistent with my videos either, so I can't. And she's got a bigger fan base than me, so I can't. It's hard for me to sit here and say, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. All right, fine. Let me see. R2 Ninja Turtle. Oh yeah, she's got almost 14,000 subscribers. She's way more popular. She's way more popular than me. So I can't say one way or the other why she's not in the 100,000 subscriber club. But yeah, I dig her. I watched. She just did a video talking about her experience, or posted a video talking about her experience on the second Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movie. And even with my aversion to the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles, I went ahead and watched it and enjoyed it. Like, she's a good storyteller. Like, so I would imagine with more time she'll get more popular. Little Shop of Horrors, Audrey 2 is awesome. Audrey 2 is amazing. Levi Stubbs essentially killed that role for anybody else. Now, I know their live performances, touring all over and different people doing that performance, but it's like all of them have to try to compare themselves to Levi from the movie, right? Like, I feel like that's everybody's benchmark for Audrey too. The benchmark for Audrey, I mean, depends on what your ear is looking for. But the benchmark for Tui is definitely the movie. In terms of, yeah. Wow. No, it's not. It's 5. I almost scared myself to death because I got to get to rehearsals in 2 hours. I have to be at rehearsals in 2 hours. I have to leave in about an hour and a half. I still got to get some stuff ready and stuff like that. But it's very cathartic to sit here and at least get the emotions out about what it feels like to be back in a play, and I know for a fact that once I actually touch the wood of the stage for the first time in forever, it's knowing that I got to perform on it to at least my level of what I want to perform to. That's going to be a completely different thing. That's going to, I mean, I can handle it. It's going to be a completely different, not completely different. It's going to be an experience I haven't felt in a long time. All this is stuff I haven't felt in a long time when it comes to performing. So, but I like where I'm headed. I like where I'm headed. And it'll definitely be interesting to see what goes on from there. I wanted to make this one short. Do you got any other questions for me, Samantha, before I take off, or comments or anything like that before I get out of here and get ready to drown myself in the amazing Technicolor Mega Mix? Let's see. If you would do Little Shop of Horrors, would you post it on YouTube? If I could, yeah. As a matter of fact, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask. I wanted to see if this recording, if our performance for the Dreamcoat was going to be recorded at all. What the process was of maybe getting a copy of that recording. They probably wouldn't want it posted anywhere, but at the very least, just to have a copy of it. If they're doing one at all, who knows? But yeah, absolutely, I would. If you would do Little Shop, yeah, of course, I love Little Shop of Horrors. But I would. And as nervous as I, here's the thing, I'm fairly I'm a healthy amount of nervous for me playing Gad in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And I still invited my two favorite drama teachers via Facebook, and I still, am hoping that, even though probably not, I still would like for people that I know to show up. Probably not just because it's so far away from most of everybody else that I know, but as nervous as I am for my performance, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if that made me feel better or worse or what, but I would like people that I know to be there, if they could, to any of the performances. Last time I was in a play, hi Dee Dee, last time I was in a play was third grade. What did you play in third grade, Dee Dee? What was this performance? And now I got to know. Now I have to know. Yeah, this whole process is something else. Don't be nervous. You will be great. Thank you. But the nerves drive me a bit. The nerves are. I feel like I need the nerves. If I go out there completely calm, I feel like I'm going to bomb. I feel like I'm going to throw it. Because I've had instances where I did. Because if I go out there and I'm completely calm, my energy is not as high. I agree with Samantha, and if you're not great, I'll boo. Ha! You know what? You know what? You know what? You're banned. You're banned. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to come in dark. You know what? I'm gonna put your picture up on the box office. Do not accept this chick into the. I don't care if she flashes that smile or not. Do not accept her in. Do not have her pass go. Collect $200. Whatever. You are not allowed in. How about that? Okay, but seriously, please come. Yeah, no, I feel like if I'm gonna mess up on stage, it's gonna be I'm gonna miss a spot. As far as the dance is concerned, so I feel like it's not gonna be a calamitous thing. I'm not gonna knock the whole stage over, but everybody else will be doing a turn, and I'll be standing there, or something like that. So it's gonna be something noticeable, but not show ending. And I almost hope it's something show ending, because at least then I'll have a story. But as opposed to, oh yeah, I forgot to turn. Yeah, or a wardrobe malfunction or something. Yeah, see, at least that would be noteworthy. At least if somebody is recording it, you can post it on YouTube, get some hits. I probably won't see any of that revenue money, but you could get something for it. Me not putting my toe out properly won't work. Paul Bunyan's wife. I have never in my life heard of Paul Bunyan's wife. That was an unfortunate rhyme, but still. Paul Bunyan's wife in the 3rd grade. What was this? Were you Paul Bunyan's wife? Were you Paul Bunyan? I had to look this up. Paul Bunyan's wife. Oh yeah, this is a thing apparently. There was a book. There was a children's book, or maybe not children's book. Paul Bunyan's sweetheart. This is a whole thing. Hold on. Lucette, I guess was her name. This is a whole thing. Who knew? And one of the 3 witches, and I can't remember. It was 3rd grade after all. Oh, so you were a straight up thespian there, Dee Dee. You thespian actors. You were an actress. That was a whole wow. One of the 3 witches, and I can't remember. There's always 3 witches in there, and it's always it couldn't have been Hocus Pocus. Probably wasn't. Actually, I don't know how old you are. It might have been Hocus Pocus. Actually, it probably wasn't Hocus Pocus. Not in 3rd grade. You're not. No elementary school is paying for the rights to put on Hocus Pocus as a play. So it's probably something like, what has 3 witches in it? What fairy tale has 3 witches in it that I can't think of? I just keep remembering 1 witch in most stuff. I can't remember 3. I'm sure there's 1. I'm sure there's something with 3 witches in it. It was the role of the second most lines. Had I been more ambitious, I would have been. Why not? Go for it. You're in 3rd grade. You're 8 years old. You got the world on a string. Sitting on a rainbow, for crying out loud. Go for it. Matter of fact, here's what you should do now. Now you should go out and you should see if you can find a production of Paul Bunyan's wife anywhere and go for Paul Bunyan. How about that? Satisfy your 9-year-old, 8-year-old self. Wait, 8 years old? Kindergarten is 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, satisfy your 8-year-old self, right? That inner demon that you just couldn't vanquish at the time. Go out there and find the performance. Matter of fact, do the whole thing. Do a 1-woman show. I believe in you. Yeah. 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 No, I believe in you. Go out and do the whole performance. I believe in you more than I believe in myself in this particular play, and I've been studying this play for 20 years. I'm not at the point where my nerves are completely shot. Like, look, my hand's relatively steady. That's fine. We'll check back in 6 days, though. or 6, or 7. See, I can't even math right now. Or even 8. When I walk into that stage, actually, when I walk into that stage for the first time on Monday, this coming Monday when we start Tech Week, that's going to be a biggie too. When I step onto that stage for the first time and say my first line, which is Dad, that's going to be huge too. And the songs, I'm singing a lot. Like, it's interesting how the pacing is set up. I'm in most of the first half. Actually, so the brothers are in the first half of the first act and are in the second half of the second act. So essentially half the show is us. We're the bread in that sandwich. Half the show is us. And we're on there for like half the show. I feel fairly comfortable though in most aspects of it. I don't want to feel too comfortable because then I feel like the performance is going to be bad. Let's see. I was a scaredy cat, but would love to audition for the big things. LOL, 5th grade was chorus for me. See, you're one of those kids I'm talking about. You're one of those kids that we've got in the play now who was doing all that. Who's doing the chorus and the... I haven't heard the term Glee Club yet pop up in rehearsals, but why not? I'm sure somebody's doing Glee. There's this one kid who ostensibly plays my daughter in it, but the kids are never like... You never see the kids with their families. They're just kind of there. It's just kind of on paper, she's my daughter. Can't stop dancing. Refuses to stop dancing. Just off stage, not doing anything. Everybody else is doing something. She's dancing. She can't... The boogie won't leave her. She can't not dance. And I feel like that was you in the 5th grade. I feel like that was you in the 3rd and 5th grade, and probably still you now. But all right, I think I'm about to take off. Let's see. Don't get cocky about it, but be confident. Find the sweet spot. A little bit of nerves is healthy. Yes, absolutely. And that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. But even in that, you don't want to be too comfortable in the fact that you're nervous, right? And I feel like my body's giving me that natural thing right now. I feel like that's why yesterday I got through 75% of the rehearsal without messing up, and then messed up. And then messed up like half the stuff that was left. Like I feel like that's... And then my voice literally gave out. Like I came in for the harmony part where I was supposed to hit my note. And I came in to hit my note, and it wasn't there. It was not there. And I'm glad that happened in the rehearsal space and not on that stage, Jack, because, ooh, not on that stage. But all right, I get ready. Hit me up if you have any questions about anything. Like, share, subscribe to this video. Hit the links in the description to help keep the lights on at the party. Subscribe Star, Patreon, PayPal. Help keep the lights on at the party. All other stuff. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you later. If you're in the Santa Clarita area, maybe I'll see you at the show starting on the 20th. And if not, till next time, salud.